after their game that they had to switch up the sequence. It was not working in their favor, and it was something that we observed, but it can still be flexed. It doesn't have to be strictly Escalera first pick.
Yeah.
It can be different depending on what AP.Bren is looking to build around.
Yeah, Paquito is hella flex. Barrett's, though, is a already given EXP lane hero. Oh, no, that's why. I was thinking about the Belleray. So Belleray can go into the roam or EXP depending on the team. You also have to watch out of the Uranus Barrett trade, the resurgence of Novaria, sometimes Selena in the mid and how that might affect things. And of course, the Rafaela. There's one very important trade and I think we would be keen on doubling down on that. Don't forget about the Uranus and the Barretts and its relationship and the draft importance.
Yeah, that's why teams, you're going to see like ONIC, for example, will ban out the Uranus. But I guess since they are playing on the blue side, or the red side, I mean, they will have to think about that even more.
Oh.
Okay, well, never mind then. That's going to be the Barrett's pickup. I think this favors ONIC more because now they can second pick this Uranus in case. All they have to do now is probably ban the Varia, for example, I would prefer AP.Bren, or a Paquito.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking if they're letting the Paquito through.
You know what? I think I might be okay with them letting the
Paquito
Paquito through. You could just end up picking something like the Belleric and then add in the Uranus over there on the other side. But actually, no. They banned out the Uranus themselves. Let's see. AP.Bren, if they go ahead and pick up the Paquito, the Belleric, I wouldn't be surprised it gets picked up by ONIC right away.
So could it be the Paquito because it worked really well for them? The Hirara is open too, but records would show that they've been able to play around the Paquito much more. And considering Shizo's hero pool, which I'm not sure if we've fully explored yet. And speaking of Shizo's hero pool, we add a new one.
Melissa is open. I think you want to pick up the Novaria as soon as possible if you are ONIC Philippines. You don't want to give both the Melissa as well as the Novaria on the side of AP.Bren. And what else is left? You have the Hirara. But you still have a lot of answers to that. You can go for the Harley, in fact, for ONIC, so it answers both Hirara as well as the Melissa. That's why Belleric is going to be the choice. Alright, so they still pick up the Hirara.
Alright, so I have a lot of dive for ONIC. You mentioned the Novaria earlier. That might be coming in later at either Red 3 or Red 4. But for AP.Bren, I think you start hacking around the Melissa now, get some range, or you might even consider the Eudora. But the thing is, if you lean towards the Eudora as an answer to the Hirara, then you might be lacking in the range department.
That's right. You do need a lot of tank ability here for AP.Bren. At the same time, the Rafaela seems to be an option. Esmeralda is their choice, as well as the Matilda. JMPINKMAN played this twice yesterday out of their 3 games. Eventually had to ban it out themselves. But now ONIC, I feel like you really have to take the Novaria this time.
Yeah, and it's not like they're expecting a Dairoth matchup anyway, I guess.
I don't think so.
For Kirk, I don't think he is going to be considering those kinds of heroes. And that would actually surprise me because it's not necessarily the Paquito that they're really prioritizing. So it's really the Melissa, it's Shizo that they're playing around this time?
Yeah,
for sure.
We've seen that Matilda get played in a very aggressive manner, a la Jaypee yesterday in their matchup. So if it's not all right, so ONIC are going to be leaning towards their key Kaja pickup, a very super Yoshi pick that went very successful to them paired up with their Aurora.
Yeah, typically not a hero that you will use up against the Matilda because the Matilda can easily save people. But there was a time where people were saying that, okay, yeah, let's go Kaja, let's go hard suppress against the Matilda because in that scenario, the Matilda Guiding Wind will not be as effective. However, Kaja has been changed since then. And if you think about it, Matilda wants to help his teammates or her teammates by being together. With the team. So they're clumping up together naturally. So maybe there is a world where if you're ONIC PH, you're thinking, oh, maybe the Kaja, the new Kaja ultimate can work now.
You know, with the thing about Guiding Wind and then now with the ultimate of the new Kaja, it feels like we might end up seeing a literal tug of war. Kaja wanting to pull the team the other way, the Melissa wanting to Guiding Wind away from the Kaja.
Yeah, but it also feels like a less stressful way of dealing with the Melissa, especially considering that you don't necessarily have to come as close. Just to make sure that you lock her down or prevent her from moving in a position which she would actually favor.
And speaking of, you are now looking for chain stuns in that regard if you are ONIC. I know that the Novaria will be good, and I've mentioned that many times earlier, but I think that ONIC might be looking towards the likelihood of a Vexana. Of course, the Aurora is no longer available, but imagine the Vexana which is almost like the ultimate of the Aurora, but faster, but at the same time deals more ramp damage because of the Eternal Guardian. That will be a very good combo here coming out from ONIC. Imagine having the Vexana in this Lyrick plus Kaja combo.
Oh. What? So there's a lot of combos that you could already imagine, right? It's the Divine Finding, the Wrath of Dryad.
Yeah.
Plus, you just let the Eternal Guardian just do whatever he wants.
Part of me is surprised that they banned out this Eudora. I mean, thinking about it, it's not like the Matilda regains health. It just adds a shield. It makes sense. But then the Vexana is a bigger problem. A hero that has a little bit more range is a much bigger problem right now for AP.Bren.
But there are two ways for ONIC to go about it. They can go sustain. Now, if they're already okay with their setups with the Lyrick as well as the Kaja, if they're satisfied with that, they can go sustain with the Rafaela that has good synergy with the Hirara, as we've seen before. But I feel like, knowing ONIC, they want to go damage here. They want to go Vexana.
Oh,
Novaria.
There's Novaria in the long range, and I wouldn't be surprised if ONIC just ends up closing it out with a Beatrix as their pick. I know there's a Mathilda on the other side, but it just goes so well with the rest of the lineup.
Yeah. I believe that Mr. Saveras has his own global ban set for himself.
Yeah.
I think he hasn't played the same hero twice yet. Well, they played the 2-0, so... I do like the Beatrix, though. That's a Novaria Beatrix combo. The Novatrix.
Novatrix.
Oh, right! It's with the Koyl!
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like someone on the Filipino desk likes to play that combo.
Oh, yeah.
But there's no Paquito Nolan anymore. If it's a Harley, that's too much magic. Oh!
Lucas.
Mathilda Lucas.
Ooh!
Oh, wait. Mathilda mid. Ooh.
Mathilda mid, get that Kacha for Escalera. So they're going double sustain for the Melissa.
Yeah.
Understandable. It's this is for Protect One. This is no longer a Jamespangks kind of team. This is a Shizo team now for AP.Bren.
No, but theoretically, if they don't get a good early game for Jamespangks, doesn't that also harm the Melissa?
100%, yes. So they now ONIC can just go back to looking at the early game, which now the idea of a Brody seems to be really good for ONIC, or a Clint actually.
Ah, yeah.
Which is what ONIC Indonesia used against Eman's Melissa, if I remember that correctly. No, it was Falcons, actually. I think the Clint.
It's a Brody.
Brody.
I mean, Clint, Brody, those that can really kite.
I mean, Savera already played the Clint, so he probably said, okay, now, coach, I've already played the Clint. Let me play the Brody.
He wants to beat his record of unique heroes
That's
used in a season.
Oh, all right. Interesting choices here, especially on the side of AP.Bren. Playing around the Lucas, we did point out, it needs to have a good early game. It doesn't need to dominate. It just needs to smoothen out the curve for the eventual spike of the Melissa on the side of AP.Bren. Meanwhile, for ONIC, pretty much they can play that old ONIC style, just go fast, go hard, but they still have to respect the fact that Matilda might just be the X factor here against that with the Lucas, excuse me.
Yeah, I don't remember, even with my time with LanceCy, him playing the Matilda. Three
purifies.
Very defensive here. AP.Bren really wants to take care of the Melissa, and you're right, Renmar, if Jamespangks' game in the early stages is not as good, then normally the Melissa would also suffer. Now, if you're going to be looking at the Lucas, it's generally good against assassins. With the help of a good catch as well as the Matilda, you add more depth to the aggression that they can have in the early stages. I'm just really scared when ONIC can go for the counter engage through the Novaria as well as this Kaja.
Yeah.
But at least for the first turtle, AP.Bren does have the advantage.
Welcome to game number 1, folks. AP.Bren and ONIC. LanceCy with a support emblem set. Inspire. Going for Wilderness Blessing. Not wanting to pack what has been the usual pickup now for mid laners, which is to pull yourself together.
And speaking of pull yourself together, that is Savera's choice. I think this is the first time that I'll see it in Marksman.
Yeah.
Particularly the gold lane, Savero. Yesterday the trend was Bargain Hunter, but now Savero's like, okay, pull yourself together. That's very interesting. I think he wants to really be aggressive and active in the early stages.
Yeah, I can imagine just him wanting to secure the laning phase at least for ONIC, and because I feel like eventually the team fights based on these two teams and their lineups would really favor AP.Bren if it just gets so extended.
Yeah.
So maybe they'd want to have a bit more reliable source of repositioning and whatnot for Savero, since later on he'd be very crucial to last long in the fights.
We also have to watch out for the eventual spike in aggression coming in from ONIC once Savero has that Sky Piercer and he starts getting stacks for that Brody. Not a lot of action just yet, a big team fighting action, but JMPINKMAN has done a great job of stopping Kirk in the lane, has a huge advantage over him, and is going to hit level 4 first.
Unbreakable, not landing onto anyone. King Kong brings Escalera down very low though, and that's a few seconds before the first objective actually spawns.
Who is actually staying in here? They want to make sure that the Lyrick will get his level 4. And that's exactly what they're doing right now.
Okay.
Helping Kirk a little bit. And that should be enough for Kirk to get the Wrath of the Dryad. Super Prince has his own ultimate. And what this configuration means for ONIC is that if they do secure this turtle, maybe get another kill, they will get Super Yoshi's ultimate.
That's a circling eagle already.
Might have been a little bit too early, but Kirk is already level 4, as we pointed out. Be a big setup here for ONIC to get this turtle number 1.
And they know that the Circling Eagle is not going to be available. Escalera isn't level 4 just yet. They're gonna go for King Kong. King Kong is already out of range, but does AP.Bren still get enough time to secure this objective? 4 members of ONIC still trying to go, but they're gonna focus on the fight! Jamespangks picks up first blood! Kirk uses the Revitalize, but is it enough to sustain the damage coming through for AP.Bren? They're gonna transition. They no longer want to go for the commit, and they might have spent a bit too much time!
Oh, overcooking AP.Bren. But I do like the idea coming up from Jamespangks to jump onto Super Prince. Once he saw that Super Prince already used the second skill to shatter, and but that meant that ONIC were able to turn it around because Kirk survived. And I like how Kirk is playing. He is surprisingly masterful with this Lyrick.
Whoa, okay, I did not expect Gatot Matilda to actually pull that off, but it seemed like Super Yoshi was already kind of low, but Super Prince! He gets to find a trade for ONIC.
So that confirms it. Getting hit by a meteor to the face actually hurts.
Yep, almost point blank in there. Very hard for Escalera to get out of there, but all things considered, AP.Bren taking out Super Yoshi first. Jamespangks is level 7 at this point. It's already has his first kill. I think this is really decent for AP.Bren. They should not panic. I think that they have a lot of ways. King Kong, overextension.
KOG will not connect, but they still get to reach King Kong, and that's going to be enough to pull out the damage. Wrath of Dryad from Kirk. He's just going to try and run away, but he still forced the chase. They're not. Super Yoshi 2 within range, and that's going to be it for AP.Bren. They might get a chance at least reducing some HP of this turret, but they're not going to go for the turret. It's still the kill that AP.Bren wants.
Gotta give it to AP.Bren. They know exactly what they need to do, and they are pushing the pedal to the metal by playing full aggro. 3 kills for Jamespangks.
You know, the butterfly effect of that aggression coming out from King Kong when he tried to go for that steal on the Crammer, was able to do so. But AP.Bren have already gathered themselves. Was like 4 members in there, taking out King Kong, then eventually poking Kirk, forcing the Wrath of the Dryad. That when now the fat wave of minions in the bottom lane that should have been for Kirk to farm, he wasn't able to get. When he tried to desperately get the farm and defend the turret, what happened was he got killed. He did not have the Wrath of the Dryad. All that stemmed to the fact that King Kong overstepped and tried to steal that Crammer.
This is like the first time I'm seeing a Hirara being chased down so often.
Yep.
It's not common to see the Hirara not being able to escape.
Yeah, usually she's the one doing the chasing down. Let's see who's going to be getting this turtle. AP.Bren still looks good for them. They've gotten to take their condition for the early game. Now can they smoothen it out? Shizo's not going to be here yet. While ONIC have now sent Savero here. It's 5 versus 4.
Okay, Divine! Binding already used! Super Yoshi doesn't catch anyone! But are AP.Bren in position? LanceCy already using the Circling Eagle, but it's still King Kong who secures the objective! Escalera with the Revitalize, they're just trying to run away! There's no Divine Binding, but all members of ONIC are trying to go for the chase! Escalera finally falls, doesn't even get to use the AOG! And that's 1 member down for AP.Bren!
Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Shizo has pushed. It was Kirk with a great use of the Wrath of Dryad to stop Jamespangks. He got taunted by the Lyrick.
Yeah, all things considered, only losing Escalera, the turtle, but them gaining farm on the Melissa and the push up top. I think that's actually good for AP.Bren.
It's another re-engage from AP.Bren, and with Jamespangks at the front, they get to reach Savero! One of the best targets that you could find! And they're still gonna go for it! They want more, but it's it's just JMPINKMAN now. They're not gonna force the fight.
Now it's absolutely a win for AP.Bren. The turtle and a kill went in favor of ONIC. But overall, the map is turning AP.Bren because of that trade. They took out Savero. They pushed the top lane. Shizo is farming quietly 4.1 thousand gold at this point, catching up to what Savero was able to achieve. And Jamespangks already ramping up 4.6k, getting the War Axe very near his second item. This means that the third turtle, AP.Bren, will have a very strong contention in that.
Wow. This is just such an efficient trio mid-rotation from AP.Bren.
Yeah.
You don't even get to pay attention to Shizo anymore just because of their movements across the map. ONIC can't keep up.
Mid Mathilda works. It does deal a lot of damage, but you need to have a roamer with it that can clear waves fast. Toss's Blast, and even without it, the Gatot Kacha has some damn good wave clear.
Jamespangks is level 11 at this point, and they're already going to the jungle of ONIC.
Again, it's King Kong. Who do you want to go for? Unbreakable still charging. Shizo using to go away. Now King Kong can actually somewhat try to escape, but he's still trapped. He's in the middle of 3 members, now making it 4. 4 members of AP.Bren with the immobilize. Can it be enough? Not with the circling eagle present for LanceCy.
He doesn't get away, but if you need any proof that Hirara is busted, that's it right there.
That's it right there. It takes 5, but they do take out the turtle. They will lose their bottom lane turret, but they will gain more ground when it comes to controlling the jungle. Jamespangks already working on the orange buff that should belong to King Kong. They will not be able to push mid, but at least they are applying the pressure in the side of the jungle of ONIC.
Heading into today, 9 out of 10 games, the team that got the first turtle won it. ONIC got the first 2, AP.Bren got the third, but it's AP.Bren in the lead. And I feel like it's because it looks like they saw. Whoa, JM!
Oh no.
You got the last hit!
Oh, Mr. 50-50. Looks like he is on the better side of that 50-50 right now.
Yeah.
Actually, almost, on the same level as King Kong right now. And it will take a lot of work for the Hirara to come back from this game. 1,000 lead for AP.Bren. They don't have the purple buff on King Kong when the time that the Lord will be up. So ONIC needs to make a play happen maybe around 30 seconds before the Lord spawns so that they will at least regain their momentum.
Yeah, okay. Making a play happen even before
That
AP.Bren.
Novaria would like to get with the Star Scatter, slow reading of your rotations, but AP.Bren have made themselves very surprising and overwhelming for ONIC to handle. Still, ONIC now have gotten on the board even more with their towers. It's even. They've been able to play the macro. AP.Bren has had to sacrifice a little bit of that to get the wins that they've had. Wow. It's very close in gold. You can still turn things around if this is ONIC. Savero has a Sky Piercer. AP.Bren, as this game goes on, needs to be more and more careful.
Yeah.
Once stack starts rolling in, it's not going to be good.
Yeah. I think the response coming up from ONIC, they have just mirrored what AP.Bren was doing, letting them push, not giving away any kills afterwards, and then just, lick their wounds and get the scraps that they can. And quietly out there, Savero is leading versus Shizo, and you also have Hirara coming out from Hito with 6.3 thousand gold, not too far behind Jamespangks. Even all things considered, I think ONIC found a way to kind of contest this first Lord.
Yeah.
So Lord number 1. Escalera and Kirk both have to revitalize. Here comes an entry.
There you go. That's another attempt from LanceCy, but they all get revealed by that Astral Echo. There goes the Star Shutter, but it's enough time. Jamespangks just goes for the objective, and they might still consider a bit of a skirmish, but they won't. They gotta keep it safe. They already have the Lord on their side.
Oh, great Lord dance. LanceCy leading that charge literally with the circling eagle, calling out Jamespangks. And the thing with the Lucas is that if you pop your ultimate, you're immune to crowd control. So he easily got back to the turtle, the Lord, but Shizo was working on that Lord, and he was just there to collect and drive by to get that retribution off. What a great Lord that's coming out from AP.Bren. It was very smooth.
Very easy looking zone out. Circling Eagle, get that Sacred Beast out, and then now ONIC is wondering, oh wait, are we gonna fight? And they didn't even need to bring the Sacred Beast out. It was just a threat. It's a threat of them doing something that stopped ONIC from fighting.
Yeah, you already forced out a reaction with just that. But ONIC, have already used the Divine Binding even before the Lord gets close.
I feel like that's the second one that we've seen miss in this game.
For sure. Oh. AP.Bren are getting into the heads of ONIC, specifically for Super Yoshi. Right now, fleeting time as well as the immortality. We're not seeing the potential just yet.
See, whenever he goes in for the dash, you gotta expect that circling eagle. Escalera, though, with a follow-up AOG, gets caught by the taunt with the Wrath of the Dryad, but it's going to be okay. AP.Bren take the base turret in exchange of Escalera. They gotta disengage, though. They could not push any further.
Wow, there is a discipline where you sacrifice some of your HP again to force some reactions from your opponents.
Oh, the Purify was a bit too early. I think we got to see that.
Oh,
But the response from Jamespangks, who together with LanceCy, they're fighting this even if it's just the two of them, and it's gonna be a shutdown for Savero! He picks up a double kill. Purify forced out on LanceCy, and Super Prince gets to take him too!
We were just talking about discipline, but for a moment, AP.Bren slipped.
Oh, I was about to say, in the bottom lane siege that AP.Bren did, they sacrificed some of their HP to get a siege, to get a push. And it doesn't look disciplined because you're aggressive, but it is. But now, in the middle, when you see JMPINKMAN sacrificing himself, ONIC just got three kills.
Oh, that hurt. It's looking like a very expensive decision from AP.Bren now. They lost the base turret too, when in fact they could have just kept the pressure going.
He could sense that Jamespangks decided to go in for that just so that they could balance things out. They saw a good clear line towards the Brody, but it's a Brody that had the Lyrick around it. Kirk didn't have the Wrath of Dryad, but that revitalized, kept him alive.
And also the Wind of Nature that was available there for Savero.
You're right.
That was one of the good plays that he was able to do against Jamespangks. Jamespangks felt very confident diving into Savero because he knows that the Sky Piercer alone will not be enough, but Yoshi overstayed, and now Escalera.
Yeah, he's not gonna get out of this. He does go down before the fight even breaks out, but Super Yoshi, do they still want to re-engage? The Lord is up, and that's already one member from AP.Bren who will not be able to participate.
Fleeting time, by the way, for Super Yoshi. So look at the timers go so quick for Super Yoshi. Find that red pie chart. It will now be available in just a few seconds.
Savero has stacks on that Piercer, and we've seen many times in the past few months how quickly that can chain together. Looks great for ONIC. AP.Bren are down one.
Falling Star Moon doesn't connect. LanceCy goes straight for the back lines. It's Savero that Jamespangks actually wants to go for, but the Winter Crown timing wasn't enough. Savero picks up a mega kill, and it's ONIC going for the cleanup. Another Winter Crown for Shizo, but it's just gonna be a double King Cull. JMPINKMAN, he's all alone. It's a triple. King Cull and the rest of ONIC have only left Escalera to defend.
Perfect. Wind of Nature by Savero to keep himself alive. Escalera cannot get close. That's it for game one.
Imagine being in control for the entirety of the game. AP.Bren fumbled. They had a great siege down the bottom lane, and just a few seconds thereafter, they made a mistake. Diving Savero, not minding their own side of the map. They weren't playing together in that last minute, and they were duly punished by ONIC Philippines.
That's the